All right, everyone, we're here today with Andre. Um, Andre, we do a little bit of a different podcast. We do an interactive podcast where we actually have a Discord community. They drop some questions for us. You were a requested guest for us. Um, First things first, man. Dating back to your MMA, the start of your MMA career back in 2015, you trained for a few years, and then we see that you went professional in the year of 2018. Giving that bit of information, would you give younger fighters that same kind of road plan to get the reps in before going pro?
I think that um, the whole point of an amateur career, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will, but the whole point of fighting amateur is to prepare you to go pro. So, with that being said, I think people take the amateur career with like the wrong approach. I think that too many people think like, oh, I need to do this 8 week camp because I want to be a professional fighter, and professional fighters take 8 week camps, and it's like I think the goal of amateur fighting is to get as much experience as possible. It's not to win as many fights. It's not to it's to get as much experience as possible and develop and like develop your game as much as possible. And I think in order to do that, you got to fight a bunch and not and you got to fight a bunch often. You see these guys that amateur that fight maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I think if it was me and I was managing a fighter, I would want him to fight every weekend. Demetrius Johnson would talk about it all the time. He's like, we never were in camp. We this weekend we'd go do a grappling match. Next weekend we'd do a boxing match. The following weekend we'd have an MMA fight. Like I think that's the way it should be. You don't need an 8 week camp to get ready for a 2 minute round fight. You know what I mean? So um, I think that when I was an amateur, I fought a lot, um, and I'm glad that I did that because when it came time to go pro, I felt confident because I'd been in the ring so many times.
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of motivation too, just to get those nerves out and just feel free inside the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. I came from a wrestling background, so I probably have I don't know, maybe close to 1,000 wrestling matches since I was 4 or 5 years old. So as far as competition goes, I'm very familiar, but um, obviously fighting is a whole different ball game. So to be able to get 10, I think I was 7-1 in MMA and then 2-0 in kickboxing before I went pro. I think helped me a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, you were pretty active. Uh, when making your professional debut, you fought in the Art of War Cage Fighting 8 and got the first round knockout. Way back then, what kind of motivation was that for you?
What kind of motivation was getting the knockout?
Yeah, like as it was like maybe a bigger promotion, what kind of motivation did that give you to keep going?
Yeah, I my first 5 pro fights were in 14 months. So, but I had all first or all finishes. My first 5 pro fights were all finishes within 7 minutes.
Wow.
Um, so I didn't really take a whole lot of damage. And as soon as the fight was over, my mindset was like, let's just fight again. So I just kept fighting back to back to back. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of just expected to finish everyone. I had no idea of how to manage the clock or manage my gas tank or anything like that. And I eventually ended up paying for it. Aaron Jeffrey was my first loss where I came out and just guns blazing for 7 minutes and, clearly won the first 7 minutes of the fight, but wasn't able to put him away like I put everyone else away. And, hit that wall and didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, man, you got that true fighter mentality. That many fights, that yeah, that's unreal. You would make your UFC debut in 2021. How did it feel to get that fight or the win via submission that night?
Great. I mean, it's like a dream come true. Like your dreams are coming true. Um, just, I mean, that's what I dreamed of. That's what I prayed for, and to be able to uh, get into the UFC is like the first step. It's not the end goal, but I mean that is a big accomplishment. That's like why the Contender Series does so well, because like the whole idea of like getting the contract and getting into the UFC is it's enticing. Like it's compelling. It's a good story.
Absolutely. Your next fight is scheduled for February 15th. As fans, what can we expect to see from you?
I mean, it's the two best grapplers in the division facing off. So, guaranteed fireworks. Um, I mean, Hodolfo has shown that his jujitsu, not only in jujitsu but also in MMA, is very effective. Obviously, I've shown that my grappling is very good. Um, I'm comfortable wherever the fight goes. I'm super excited for the matchup. Um, I think it's like a really good opportunity for me to show that like wrestling beats jujitsu. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the matchup.
Awesome. We're excited to watch it, man. Um, Giving what you just said, how did you feel about the co-main event of last weekend, 311? Did you watch that one?
Uh,
Marab versus
so
Umar?
Marab was the main event. No, Marab was the co-main.
Yes,
So
sir.
Marab and Umar,
Yes, yes. What did you think
dude,
about
great.
those exchanges? Those were
Incredible fight, man. Marab's gas tank is just insane. Like I do love Marab. Like not only as a fighter but as a person, he's a cool ass dude. Like he's just like a genuine guy. I don't know. Every time I've talked to him, whether it's at the Apex or he's from New York. He's in New York, or he's spends a lot of time in New York, so we'll cross paths a lot. But he just seems like a genuine dude. Like he's a good guy. But
yeah,
as far as fighting goes, like his style's great, man. Just that relentless pace. Um, he does what Colby, um, like should have kept doing. You know what I mean? Colby was like had that style, that relentless pace, but kind of got away from it.
yeah,
And I think that Rob just does it better.
yeah, yeah. He's becoming more of just a fighter, a dominant fighter at that. He's becoming sort of a troll within the octagon. That's something that fans were. He wasn't the most liked fighter, I guess you could say, because of his matchups, who he's fought and who he's taken down. There's a big train behind Suga and stuff like that. But I think we're seeing a new version of Marab out there, and it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that fight was awesome. I mean, I don't stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning, or well, I guess 1:30. I don't stay up till 1:30 in the morning to watch fights very often. Or usually I'm asleep before the co-main event goes on, but I couldn't turn it off. I thought it was a very exciting fight.
Yeah, it was. Well, what do you like to do outside of fighting?
I'm like obsessed with horses.
Yeah.
So I work on this farm in Carney's Point. My guy's got a couple race horses, and I've been going there, and so he'll jog them every day for like 5 miles leading up to the race,
Hmm.
and I'll go jog one of the horses. It's all harness races. So I'll be like on the bike in the back. I don't know if
That's
you
awesome.
follow horse racing.
No, actually, I'm from Kentucky, so like it's pretty
Yeah,
big over here. So I'm not super familiar, but yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, I like I don't train the horses because I don't like going that fast. But when 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 he needs help just taking him out for exercise, I love doing that. I love being around horses. I love like being on the farm and stuff. So yeah, to me right now in my life, that's pretty cool to me.
It's
I
awesome.
also live on the water and I got two jet skis, but it ain't jet ski season. I'll tell you
Nah.
what, it's 10 degrees today here, so
Yeah.
you're not getting on that jet ski these days.
That would be rough. But Could we ever see the Charles Oliveira Andre collab there, like the jockey tournament or something?
Maybe one day, maybe
Maybe
one
one day.
day. My the one horse that I work with, his name's Fred's Knight. He's won 8 races this year.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty good. All harness races, but yeah, he's a good one. If me and Oliver are gonna go at it, I might have to bring Fred's Knight.
Awesome. Another question focused on MMA. What is it like to make the walk into the octagon?
Just like the craziest rush ever. Better than any drug you could ever do. It's just like the highest of the highs. Yeah, it's a like I don't really love like the day of the fight, like the anticipation, like okay. But then once I make the walk, it's like, all right, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
So there's like a switch. I think I heard Cerrone talk about it in one of his interviews, but um, from basically the time that I rehydrate after weigh-ins to where I'm back to like health to the time of the walkout, I'm like, it's like I just let's do this. Like, what's going on? I hate the anticipation, but once we go to walk out, I'm like, this is awesome.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
something that a lot of us as fans like we wonder like is it almost nerve-wracking? Do the nerves carry into the octagon or is it something that you just shut off right then?
Um. Yeah. No, I feel like I'm sure there are some, but for the most part, I'd say that once I go to make that walk out, it goes from like nervousness to excitement for the
Leading
most
to a
part.
knockout or
At least
submission. That's
that's
what
for
it does.
me. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
And
Well, what can we expect to see from you in the rest of 2025 after your fight on February 15th?
I want big fights. I want big names. I want to continue to prove that I'm not only the best grappler in this division, but I'm one of the best fighters in this division.
That's very much agreed
So
on.
yeah, big. Looking for big fights. And continue to climb the rankings.
Awesome. Are there any specific opponents that you'd like to fight this year, maybe?
Yeah, I want to fight. I want to fight all the best grapplers. The Bo Nichols, the Paul Craigs. Um, I want to challenge myself against really good grapplers.
That's awesome, man. We can't wait to see it. Um, well, man, that's really all we have for you today. Everyone, Andre Petroski. If you have anything that you'd like to leave us with, maybe even a shout out or a plug in your socials, man. This is your time.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Andre Petroski. Um, Tune in February 15th. Me versus Hidalgo Vieira at the Apex. It's a good card. There's some other middleweights on the card. I think it's Gregory Rodriguez and Cannonier is the main event. So definitely tune in. It's gonna be some fireworks.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on today, and God bless.
Appreciate it, brother. Have a good one.
You too.